high-grade Universal Century Doven Wolf Unicorn version. Hey, what's up again, everybody? It's Robert184, 2Rs2Bs, gundamreviews.net. You've already seen the unbox for this high-grade Universal Century Doven Wolf, but now it's time to take a look at the individual parts and see what kind of features and weapons are all built in before this MS gets monstrously put together. And from the somewhat dully colored empty plates there, you're going to be getting the body parts, and you'll notice right away that this guy's going to be an absolute monster when you put them all together. Very interesting build, very sleevesy, and if you want to talk about weapons, boy oh boy, this is going to be your guy. Also, extra manipulators, gimmicks galore, wires, stands. They really threw in everything but the kitchen sink. And it took a chunk of time, but all of the seals are put on, including those annoying orange ones on the inside of the thrusters. Kicking things off here literally with the feet, and I can't help but be reminded of the silver bullet just by seeing those little parts there. But hopefully that's the last I'll be saying about that MS here. But they're actually looking pretty good here, as you do have the three colors between the gray from the seals and the two shades of blue. In terms of the mobility though, the hips, I've got to say they just come across. I don't know how they're going to work in practice. You'll see that they will turn there, but it's very awkward as they're sort of just jammed in there. And you are able to move the armor up and down, which is going to be moving the thruster as well. In terms of the seals themselves, these are the kind that I'm actually really happy about as opposed to inside the orange parts, because they're sitting on raised surfaces, and raised surfaces, as any pro knows, those are nice and easy to paint. All you would have to do is just take a Gundam marker and go over it with a nice gray, and that would do the job for you. But the seals going on there, I think it actually looks pretty good just as is, and that includes down there on the front. So this part is going to be moving, and what do you get for the knee bend? Well, to show you from this side, you're going to get like this, and then you're going to get like this. So don't expect anything crazy, but it is over 90, which is okay. This is going to be opening up, and the thruster does not move back there. And the ankles, you can see they'll go back, they'll go forward, but not that much. And they actually have a pretty good side to side from that ball joint down there, as you can see them swivel. And the toes, you see that they'll come a little bit forward. I wonder if that forward part, though, is going to be a problem. And the front skirt looks like something from an Alien Overlord's logo, something Borgish perhaps, but it's very simple construction here, a couple blue pieces. The hips there, you can see that they're going to be offset, so they're not a straight line, but they're going to be moving in tandem there. Well, one forward when the other goes back. There's the first of the orange lining there on the inside, and again, I'm a fan of these raised ones. I think they're looking pretty sharp. And whoa, let's settle down here. There's just a little bit too much color compared to the relative drabness of the lower body. And that's all just coming from this one nice orange piece here, which actually has some good play value as well. This is also going to be accented by some orange seals there on the inside. Those ones I would definitely recommend putting in. And it's great to put on these. I'm actually a fan. The glossiness doesn't bother me here, but the white and that simple chevron there I think is looking pretty sharp. For the playability there of the shoulders, you can see a little bit up and down, a little bit forward, nothing going back. And of course, he's going to need some extra holding there in terms of just keeping up the weight of the big guns on the back. Here's the shoulders with some small black seals there on the inside, and you can see that there's also a nice black part there. Would be easy to paint up. That's going to be moving a little bit. This is going to be moving a fair bit, but you will be a little bit disappointed, I think, with the way that the shoulders attach on here. There's nothing to actually keep it on securely. The arms are going to be coming across a little bit awkward, as they're just going to be. You saw how easily that popped out. Part of that is so that you can detach the forearms, but at the same time, it doesn't feel all that secure. Let's see if it's going to work better the other way. Hopefully. Anyway, so what you can see here is that you're going to be getting a 90-degree bend and nothing more. This will rotate as you'd expect. Gray plastic looking good. The light blue looks good. You've got the orange and the black for some nice color there on the inside. And what do you have on the other side? Yeah, just drab. So you'll want to paint that up if you want to really do it up right. And to put on the sleeves, they're going to be going all the way around, so you've got the cut sort of over there. I would have preferred that you put it around kind of thing, so that this part, you don't have the ugly part right next to the most prominent printing that you actually want to be seeing. But if you do line it up straight on the arm, well, you've got this mark and this mark, neither of which you're going to see from the front. So of course you're going to want to be cheating in one direction or the other, but you just want to be careful that you're putting them on the right side. And you'd think that this orange would be lined up with this as the more exciting combo, but Bandai doesn't let it happen unless you want to go flip it around yourself. My oh my for the backpack, it doesn't look too exciting here from the front, although you are going to be seeing some gray details in the front. But overall, it's once you get to the back and you just see how much is packed on here, it's actually a lot of fun to put it all together. Big gray thrusters are looking good there, little orange details from the seals looking good on the inside and around. So what do you get here? Well, first you'll notice that these ones are going to be spinning around, but not just that, so are these. So you're actually able to take these and bring them forward. You'll notice that they will rotate almost all the way around before stopping. You've also got these parts here, which are going to be moving somewhat independently. You'll see that they'll come all the way back, but if you try to go too far forward, they will protest. These parts easily detachable, and you can see here that you can also swing these forward, and these parts are going to be moving as well, which is sort of leads, you'd think, to a sort of flimsy feel, but it's actually doing better than I expected, except for this part just feels a little bit flimsy. But here's the one that I'm a big fan of. You'll notice that this part, it's going to slide in and out there. You might need some nails or a modeling knife, but 9 times out of 10 it's working here for me. And you can see that that'll move up and down as well. But outside of the fact that you don't want to drop your backpack in space, in comms, yes, tons of fun, no colors, a little bit of lining, but just the fact that you've got these things that they can pull out as easily as you pull some silverware out of the drawer, yeah, pretty impressive for an HG weapon pack. And if the backpack wasn't enough overkill, well, how about the Mega Launcher here? Sort of unassuming due to its coloring there. Really, you're only going to have this gray and this gray for a little bit of color, of course, to go along with that big pink seal there. But if you want to make it a little bit more exciting, you'll notice in the back, there's these 2 important parts. Slide this in. It's not going to move too smoothly, and you'll want to be careful when you're putting that part together. But once you get the arms out here, and you can take this whole thing. I should have had this on the in position here, but you can slide it out. You can take the trigger and bring that down there as well. You can also go and take this part, get it up and out of the way, open up the front, and it's going to be revealing some more gray. And the fun part of this, yes, why not? This orange part is going to make itself useful here. Plug it in here, and it's actually going to stay in place pretty well. And in terms of adding power to power here, this is actually a fun play option. Here's the beam sabers looking a little bit unspectacular, but then again, oversized HG beams are just always going to be fun, and it's a nice yellow. It's actually going to provide a decent offset compared to the coloring on the kit. The Owen CeraVe say hello here with this little squitch arm, and you'll see that that's just going to detach, but it can't actually rotate around, although you can see that the fingers move independently, which is a nice touch. And what do you want to do with this? Well, you can take the forearms. You'll notice that the elbow part is going to be coming in and out all the time, and then you can go and put this in. You'll notice, though, that it's not going to have any bend mechanism, but if you did get in close with the hands out, he at least has something to take a beam saber and stab you with. More options with the beam hands here, as I had pre-loosened that, but you can detach the whole thing, and then they're going to be giving you more options over here. If you take a look at the leads there, there's 2 different parts. One of these is actually going to get attached down inside the arm here, and you'll plug that in, making sure that that overlap part is going down towards the orange. And then with your forearm, or sorry, the bicep that you already had detached, this is a custom part that will hold the lead in, and you're going to be attaching it on, and then you can go for the old whooshing hand effect, swap off the hands, and you can utilize the stands, which are a good length here for a tall MS, and if you have the hands detached and you didn't want to go wired, you could take that and attach that into the top and have the beams coming right at you. And I really don't think that the hands are going to be able to hold themselves up because they are pretty heavy compared to the length of the leads here. Of course, they could be sharpened, but what I've done is I've just flipped it over here, and so you can keep the wired option attached in first and then go and attach this, and as long as you've got the hand in the right direction, you get the idea. Which brings us to the top. Is this guy a commander or not? Well, I think you've got 4 reasons why you might think so up on the top there. You can see that he's going to have some nice options between the gray and the blue. Everything is looking pretty good there. Blue piping, the nice pink mono eye. Just a few lining options, not as many as you'd think around there. But overall, again, just because you've only got the blue and the gray, it's not really going to stand out. And the head, if it didn't have these, I think they would definitely blend in more. And it's sort of a shame because he's got one of the more unique eye sets there. It makes sense that he'd be able to look up. But it does seem to be a little bit small. That'll have to see. We'll see if that's going to apply when it's actually all put together. So let's check that out. A fun build overall, and this one's actually sanded down, but the seals, they didn't bother me as much as you'd expect. The orange ones do look good. You could always skip it on the ones on the back if you want to save yourself some time. But the sleeves ones and on the chest and the ones especially on the sides and the fronts of the legs and the waist are I'm a big fan of. Tons of weapon options. Can't wait to see them all in action. So stick around for the next part, the MS and the verdict. Thanks for watching, everybody. Please let me know what you think. See ya. Incoms, yes, but really, you can't compare this one to Macross, can you? I'm just going to go and close that up now.